Kyle Larson's day at Iowa ended in a broken race car. 33rd place, 18 laps down with his own teammates, car destroyed alongside of him. And on the radio, he took a shot at John Hunter Nemechek, stating 4 words, yeah, cool, professional. Now, the internet, they absolutely loved it, clipped it, ran with it, made a story of the day, including yours truly. Here's what almost nobody pointed out. Larson asked his spotter a question before he said it. Did somebody jam it in on Nemechek, or could he just not hold his line? And his spotter, answered him as well. Now, Nemechek's team said that he downshifted and got stuck in neutral. So Larson had the mechanical explanation in his ear before he said the word professional. He knew it wasn't a driving mistake, yet he said it anyway. And now Nemechek has responded. And what he said is the opposite of what you would expect from somebody who just got called out publicly by a 2-time champion. Now, you got to keep in mind, Larson, he qualified second, right behind Ryan Blaney, missing the pole by 100ths, and finished stage 1 in P3. Then around one lap, about lap 148 or so, this is led to the caution caused by Carson Hocevar for spinning. On the restart, Nemechek got into Larson, shoved him up the racetrack. Coming out of turn 4, Larson, who was 4 wide, got ran high into the outside wall, collected Alex Bowman, and the rest is history. Now, Larson broke a right rear toe link, lost laps in repairs, and came out 33rd and 3 laps down, and that was it. He kept getting lapped and lapped and lapped some more behind race winner Ty Gibbs. Now, this is when it's interesting because, yes, did Kyle Larson take a shot at John Hunter Nemechek? Of course he did. He was frustrated, right? Hasn't won a race in over a year. And a lot of people thought, oh, well, he was taking a jab at him. Well, John Hunter was asked by Claire B. Lang, and he said, yeah, we haven't had a chance to talk about it. I reached out to Kyle. Just a bad situation. I thought Noah Gregson was going to ship the bottom, so I stayed middle. Just not enough to get run over with the forward momentum he had. I went to downshift from 4th to 3rd, and it rejected my downshift to 3rd. Not really sure why. And it got stuck between 3rd and 4th gear. If you go back and you listen to my in-car, there was a split second, and it was silent. There was no motor noise. So I guess that's what I mean by kind of stuck in neutral, right? There was just no engine braking. I guess nothing in the gearbox that was letting it slow down. Tried to use a lot of brake pressure, and it got loose underneath him, and it ended up sliding up into him. Definitely wasn't intentional. My apologies are out to Kyle and the whole 5 team. He was on 4 tires there, had a great run through 1 and 2, and not something that I wanted to happen. It ruined our finish as well. So we went back and looked at a lot of data as far as the downshift there. On CMT, you could really see how low RPM kind of dropped and spiked. So it was just a weird circumstance. Still trying to figure it out exactly why it happened. Why I wasn't able to get into 3rd gear. And it kind of got hung between gears. But that's the first time that it's happened to me in my career. And I'm not trying to make excuses whatsoever. I got to be better. But at the same time, just trying to figure out why it happened and how not to let it happen again. Okay. There's a lot to break down there. If you thought that was a long quote, imagine me reading it. So I appreciate John Hunter, who I think does get a bad rap sometimes, but I appreciate him going out there and going like, look, it wasn't intentional. Here's exactly what I did. I looked at the data. It doesn't make sense to me. And I'm still trying to figure it out. I appreciate that. I think we all should appreciate that. And I'm curious to see Kyle Larson's response, because he is going to get asked this when they're in Richmond. How he's going to respond to this. Because it's a very interesting take. right? The way that Larson handled it and the way that John Hunter handled it coming out of Richmond. Do I expect this to be a big issue? On the track? No. I think Larson's past it. I think John Hunter's past it. I think the story in itself on social media and the internet is very interesting. But I also see this being a situation where Kyle Larson said something in the moment after asking a question. He's frustrated. He just wrecked. He has not had the season that he's wanted. And then you have John Hunter, who knows what he did, but can't figure out why it went wrong. There's a lot of gray area here. It is not black and white by any means. So I think if you look at everything in context, I think you have to appreciate where John Hunter is coming at. And I also can appreciate where Kyle Larson is coming at. So it's one of those things. If you want to shift gears, I know. But if you want to shift gears, if you're Kyle Larson, you haven't won since May of 2025. That's a long time for a guy who, think about this. Think about this. He won a championship more recently than a race. That is mind-boggling to me. But that was how the old format was in terms of the playoffs and everything like that. So look at where he's coming from. Look at the frustration that he has. And if you look at it from that vantage point, then it's like, oh, okay. I can see why he's a little pissy, right? I think that Hendrick is in a very, very tough spot. I really do. And I don't know if they're going to be able to figure it out in time before the chase. As of this recording, we're heading into Richmond, so he's got about 3 more races to figure it out. I don't know if he's going to be able to figure it out before the chase starts. I don't know if they're going to be able to figure it out before the end of the season. I don't know if this is a situation that they're just going to have to kind of just hang in there and just keep showing up and keep working at it. And then in the off season, they kind of figured it out. I've looked at recent stats and I don't have them off the top of my head, but I know Larson, I know all 4 Hendrick drivers, they have seen a decline in their average finish all of the last 4 years straight. Like William Byron's numbers are as worse as, like, I don't know if it's his rookie year, but it's damn near close. Like, they're bad numbers. So I don't put it all on Larson. I put it on the cars that they're bringing up with. This is not a driver or a separate team issue. This is a organization problem that they're going to have to fix.